Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night. It's a minus 11-2 degrees. Okay. Have you ever heard the story of the guy who is getting older and he's losing his hearing, and a lot of the high ends, frequencies are lost as you get older? And he one day turned his stereo on and was really upset because he noticed that he couldn't hear the cymbals anymore. But then he realized that the amp for the tweeters was turned off. Fuck. Whatever. What are you gonna do, alright? We have heat. Got all the electric baseboards, all the fucking space heaters. Everybody's working together. And the main heater, the kerosene heater, is got a problem with the blower motor, and it's just making a lot of noise, which makes it very difficult. But at least it's pumping out heat. I might be goofy, but I'm not goofy. Gosh. So yeah, I'm just checking to make sure the pipes aren't freezing. I'm just I have to open all the doors. Even the door in that room that you don't like to open because it's where the water heater is. So I just come in here, make sure, we have a little bit of insulation there, but making sure that the pipes are okay. I've got some of them wrapped in this fun plastic stuff here. But the pump itself is, I'm worried about that because that looks like it's, going to go. And what are you going to do? I had a nice conversation with my friend Rich after I posted a video. And so I was like, hey, cool. One person that I know is watching my videos. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. And he called me and he told me he liked the phrase that I used. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Which used to be, what am I going to do? And then it turned into, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? It's a desperate plea for help. Turned into a throwaway phrase, a turn of phrase, if you will. If you won't, that's okay too. That just means sort of like water off a duck's back, and it has to be that way in order to continue to get to the next step. Which is step by step getting through this tough time. It's like, hey, do I have enough money to get gas in the car to bring me to work the next week so that I could still be in debt? It's a tough decision and tough times, but we just need to keep going. It needs to step from rock to rock across this dangerous time in this dangerous current. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make the best of things. I'm wearing hats like this, which is actually, this is a warm hat. This was my daughter's hat. And it's very warm. And it's also great because it's one of those hats that people see me in and go, oh, okay, he's all right. Or he's not okay. Either way, leave him alone, right? So that makes, transferring things difficult for me because I'm like, that's electricity costs, but it's also making me happy enough so that I can continue to just keep going. And, when you have bipolar depression and you're faced with challenges, sometimes you don't live up to them, and it's not good. But I've decided that I'm going to live up to the challenges and that I'm going to sit and watch the end of this movie. Unless, of course, it was the Milana movie, and then I have no interest in any of that. Remember that scene in Citizen Kane? Charles Foster Kane, he marries this young wannabe opera singer, and she's really terrible at what she does, but he has all this money and prestige, and he puts in front of the cameras to do a show to sing, and she can't sing, and that's pretty much what's happening right now. Charles Foster Kane, it's a sad story, and it just Rosebud. you know, just Rosebud. So needless to say, picking up an instrument is a bit hurty. It feels like it would hurt, and it does. I've picked up some guitars here in the cold, and it's not great. I'm not in a creative musical phase right now. I'm just trying to like maybe get stuff off the computer that I did in the past and maybe retool that, listen to that again. But in terms of making new music, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I know gigs, like I sent out like 10 hey, booking now, Billy, 80 years of experience playing music between the two of us, me and Bri. We've been playing for like 80 fucking years professionally. Music school. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying like hire us. Hey, we're professional. We sing nice. The old ladies like us. The kids like us. Everybody likes, hey, like, can't. Nobody responds. Hey, you play for like $50? Like a place that has $12 beers is asking us to play for $50. That's so 2026 of them. So I have nothing really on the books. I got one gig in February, and that's rough, so I can't do that. But I plan on just doing my experimental music and being creative as soon as it gets a little bit warmer here in the music room. I can't really do anything here except try to tidy up, basically walk and pace in circles, hoping and looking at the ceiling, seeing where the pipes are, like, hey, maybe the pipe from the sink is right there. So like, I better be careful, keep this door open so it doesn't freeze. So needless to say, this is a tough time for the Clark Hive, and I know that I'll get through it. I'll have songs as a result. One of the pieces of clutter on my cluttered desk of media is a bunch of CDs that were taken from a cassette that from the Peter Hansen Memorial Tape Collection. Here, he taped a bunch of things off television from Iraq, the first Iraq War, which was from 1991. So there's a lot of like television stuff that he had taped, and I had transferred them to CD. I'm gonna post them. It's news stuff from TV. Hopefully they won't get mad. But it's like interesting. This is Jesse Jackson at MIT. It's just historically interesting. It's historically interesting because 1991, I was a 22-year-old, and so was Peter, and we were in Boston, and it was really the first sort of anti-war sentiment that we had seen throughout the country since the Vietnam War, and we were too young to remember that. So it was a really interesting time, and it felt like being in the middle of it, and we're in the middle of it now. We have like massive protests in this country because I don't know, things ain't what they seem to be, things ain't what they should be. There's like affordability crisis. It's just a hoax. Really, I'll just keep telling myself that as I consume more and more hallucinogens or something. In order to keep warm, I've had to like wear masks. I have to like go through my mask collection and put masks on to keep warm. Now you might ask, hey, why the fuck do you have a mask collection? I don't know. I have wigs, I have masks. I like to do characters, or I like to pretend that I'm someone else sometimes. And that's okay. That's called acting. That's what they used to tell me, at least. This is one of my favorite hats. This is a straw hat. And if you put it on different ways, you can make it into like other hats. So like it's just more than one hat. It could look like a gardening hat for some lady, Mrs. Lady's gardening hat, or it could be like just like a fancy dress hat for a fancy dress party or something like that. So like you can have all kinds of fun in the wintertime, right? In my previous video I had talked about, actually I'm going to put on some records, okay? We're going to put on some records because it's appropriate, you know, to play records, to play music. But anyway, I was told that someone who was afraid of ticks, one of my other YouTube friends, Jim, said that, does it work with ticks? And yes, it does. If you think about cold weather and ticks, the ticks will all of a sudden just fall off you and die. But I cannot verify that. So I had talked about this record as to something I wanted to post. It was by Dory Previn. It was very strange. It's a very strange record. And I don't know much about her. I want to research her a little bit because she said a couple things in the lyrics that I was a little concerned about. Let's go over one of these lyrics here. There's a song about midgets, and you know, I guess we don't. It's called The Midget's Lament. I walk in, I ain't too dumb. I know get some handicap to go over. Like. Then there's like some other talk in here. There's a black midget, and I gotta like do a little research. Yeah, Dory Previn was someone from the 70s, and she had I don't know much about her. It's like Mary Hartman, you know, like there was a show called Mary Hartman or something, and she was kind of a wacky person, and maybe she was on drugs or something, and I don't know, but like I need to do a little research here to find out if she like didn't like all of a sudden become a Nazi, you know, because like that's where a lot of these kooky folks sometimes take a hard right turn and become like sort of Nazis, and I don't like Nazis. I don't know if you know that, but like if you've clicked here by accident thinking you're gonna see like some Nazi stuff, I do have some like World War II stuff, but like if to interest you, but like I don't think I have any Nazi stuff that'll make you happy, so move along. This is my BB King amp. BB King played in an L5 Lab Series for years, and for a solid state amp, it's pretty good, made by Gibson Norland, I think. But I'm just going through my blues LPs, and I wanted to pick one to record. I have some of these. These are my R&B albums, mostly just like throughout like from the 50s to the 90s, Arrested Development, and like James Brown and Average White Band. You know, I have a lot of Average White Band because I'm an average white guy. James Brown stuff, lots of James Brown, BT Express, Solomon Burke, the Ray Charles stuff. I wanted to get to this. I got some good Aretha, Funkadelic stuff, but I wanted to get to some of the blues stuff. Public Enemy, Sister Carol there for, and then Sly and Family Stone stuff I like, Temptations, but I wanted to get to the blues. This is an interesting record that was my mother's. She had tried some yoga in the 70s, and this is Tony Scott, Music for Yoga. It's a jazz flautist, Tony Scott was, I believe. But this like album cover intrigued me as a child, and you might see why. Here's some great R&B here from the likes of Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash. This is some cool shit. This is Sugar Hill White Lions. That's some cool shit. I used to listen to a radio station out in New York City called WKTU, 92 KTU, and it was a rap station, and that's where I first, in the early 80s, heard rap and fell in love with it. That's a very nice Nancy Wilson album. Some Jobim. I was listening to Jobim the other day. Oh, I love Son of Berserk. That's a cool 12-inch of that song. Silver Connection that has Fly. I don't think that one has Fly Robin Fly, but that's the same thing. Some more Aretha. This Diodato. The 2001 on that is really good. Okay. let's find some of these rare, some Freddie King, some of these blues collections I have. I think I'm going to try to post, especially the ones that are like that. In the spirit. Okay, let's post this. And this is nice because it has a booklet, a little hand done booklet from probably the 70s. But here are some of the players in that book. Skip James, Charlie Patton,